wake up, hit 100 push-ups, then I'm at my route. Check on my stocks, see how they looking, then I'm sliding out. When you start seeing your progression, you stop having doubts. And what's the point of having clout if you can't cash it out? True to this game, but I'm a lifer, ayy. Feel like we finna change the cycle, ayy.
Welcome back, wealthy people. It is your boy David Bellard, one half of the Black Wealth Renaissance podcast. I'm here with my brother from another, my boy Jalen. What's good? How you doing?
Yo, 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 what's up with it, Dave? How you doing, my brother? I'm great to answer your question, but how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing fantastic, dog. You already know we back in the lab, back at it for another great episode of the BWR pod. So I can't complain, brother. You know we about to get into it, guys. We got another great show for you guys today. So before we hop into it, want to say make sure you guys leave us a rating and review. 5 stars is what we like. Uh, we got a new review, Jalen, didn't we?
We did get a new review. Hold on, let me pull that thing up. And while I'm pulling it up, I do want to say apologize, guys. We know this was supposed to come out on a Wednesday. We had a few technical difficulties, but this will be out still this week. But I like to try to keep the consistency on Wednesdays.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah.
So
Y'all, I ain't gonna lie. We was putting in the grind, burning in that midnight oil, trying to get that content in for y'all. And we went through some challenges. But we,
man.
we listen, we persevere, dog. That's why we here. We always say this is a journey that we taking together. So just know that we grind it out every day, making sure that we getting to y'all what we need to get to y'all. Jay, you
Facts.
wanna tell them a little about what happened, man? You
Man, yeah, forget it. Yeah, we'll talk about what happened and then I'll read this review. So man, as y'all know, last week we told y'all we was going to South by Southwest, right?
Yup.
So some things didn't work out the way we thought they were going to. We were supposed to be doing this thing for Ally Bank. That didn't turn out to happen. And then whenever we got there, we did street content. We still were able to do some things through Revolt. We interviewed La Russell, got some good clips with that. But the thing about that is, me and David had our own audio set up too. And for the street clips and the Lil Russell, none of our audio saved to our Rode mics. There was one
Damn.
setting that was turned off. And I'm gonna be honest with you. My heart is hurting. My heart is heavy.
Dog.
But
Dog, we
like
had
they
so much dope content for
we
y'all. We
did,
we
bro.
was we was so ready to
That
share
was
this
a
with y'all.
when I tell you, so we recorded a lot of great people. There's this one lady that we found that was a financial. What is she on?
Oh, Impact the Culture Financial.
Yeah,
Zell. Shout out to Zell. Yeah.
Impact the Culture Financial. We ran into some guys that were dressed very
Some
interesting.
interesting characters. Very, very interesting characters that would have
But
shocked some of y'all. They would have shocked some of y'all,
yeah,
honestly.
their appearance might have been crazy, but they actually said some really good stuff. Um, said all that to say, yeah, we didn't get it didn't turn out the way we wanted it to be, but it's a learning experience. We're gonna just keep on pushing forward with it. We're not gonna allow that to derail us in our mission. And then on top of that, I came back to Houston with a very important piece that David needed
Dog.
for his camera setup.
What,
So
yo, when I say it's been trying and challenging. Then today got the new tripod because I needed a tripod for the camera. Can't get the tripod because the system down for the delivery system. So listen, y'all, we say all this to say no matter what type of challenges we come across, we here.
yeah,
And
we are
that's what it
definitely
take,
here.
right? The show gotta keep going on no matter what happened. The play don't care who make it. So that's what we here for. And we want y'all to see that with us with the journey, man.
But
So if
I
you
like I,
building
I like
something,
I like that shirt, man. I like what your shirt say. Faith over
you know what I'm
fear,
saying?
dog.
The camera got me messed up. I done tapped the wrong side of my chest. Ooh.
But yeah, we definitely we're gonna keep our faith. We're gonna persevere. And like David said, we do have a new review. I would like to read this one. This review is from One Mike D. One Mike D says, "Love the podcast and very informative information. Keep bringing knowledge to the masses, regardless if interviews or not. I do think having an interview every now and then would be good. Also, be mindful of the language. I like to refer you guys to my parents and church members, and the language sometimes might offend those who don't have thick skin. Keep up the good work. Prayer was a great way to close the show. Reminds me of the Jesus, if I can ever read.
Scripture. I got you, brother.
Reminds me of a scripture in the Bible, James 3:11. Can both fresh water and salt water flow from the same fountain? You guys talk it like you walk. Appreciate that. Appreciate
Definitely
that one,
appreciate you,
Mike
one
D.
Mike D. Definitely appreciate you. So we're gonna keep giving like we said, guys. What we say, we take everything as constructive criticism. If you may have noticed, y'all ain't heard no profanity. We gonna try to do
Yeah,
better this time.
we're gonna try our hardest not to cuss.
We just want to make sure that we giving this information to people in a way
Sometimes
that
we
it's
just
it's
get
receptive.
overly passionate.
It's gonna happen. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It's gonna happen, but we gonna do our best. We're gonna do better. We're gonna do better. But again, guys, thank you so much for being back for another episode. As always, we have another great installment of the show planned for you guys today. So one of the topics that we want to get into is just rounding it off, getting into it. Was one that we mentioned on the initial episode back, and we had to circle back to it because it's something that's important, especially in
I
today's
don't
day
even
and
think we
age.
actually got a chance to mention it. I think it's
Ah,
something we wanted to touch
I,
on, but
I
we,
think I said we were gonna touch on it, but we never
yeah.
got to touch on it. Like, and that is media literacy, right? In
Mm.
today's day and age, this is more important than ever because, as you all know, today we living in a fast-paced microwave media society. The environment is like it creates people like this little dopamine effect where you crave quick hits and quick information instead of actually taking the time to digest and learn things. And that microwave media mentality is like it's rotting people brains for real. And people are having shorter and shorter attention spans and misinformation is getting spread all over now because realistically, like nobody's vetting information, nobody's taking the time to go and look and make sure what they're going and what they're hearing and what they're finding and saying is true, you know?
Mm.
So just to kind of open us up with this, like what is media literacy, right? So media literacy is defined by the National Association of Media Literacy Educators as the ability to analyze, evaluate, create, and act using all forms of communication. So media is not just one form of communication, right? This podcast is media.
Hmm.
Newspapers, media, social media is media, like Instagram, TikTok, all each one of those are media, blogs, anything that you consume visually, audibly,
Content.
content is media, right? And again, why does this matter, right? So I just kind of mentioned it. Everybody is now we're in this society where if you can't get somebody's attention in 3 seconds with what you're saying, it's not worth saying, right? We're in this type of environment that
The
everybody's
attention of
trying
a
to
goldfish, man.
everybody's trying to get their spot in the algorithm. They're
Hmm.
trying to find the way to get engagement. And what really is the dangerous part about this is because social media really, while it's great, it's a double-edged sword, right? It allows literally anyone to get on the internet and post content about whatever they want, gain a following, and influence public perception, right? We often hear that term influencer, and people are like, well, what's an influencer? An influencer helps shape people's perspective. You look to this person as a veritable source. You trust this person. You feel like you know, like, and trust them. So whatever they say, you're a lot less likely to go verify that information and just run with it. So even if they don't have the credentials, right? They could not be a licensed financial advisor. We've seen it. We talk about it a couple times. The Hawk Tuah girl,
Yeah.
like she ain't no financial advisor, but She said, "My coin going to the moon, and here you got some 35-year-old white man in Kansas then put his life savings in this shit, and now he mad."
Man, let's talk about some of the other scams that happen. There's the Haktua girl. There's the Fire Festival. I don't know if you know your boy Billy is back at it
Uh,
again.
dog,
Trying to
nah. The
he's
Billy, the
trying
Billy is the biggest scammer of all
he's trying
time.
to do another Fire Festival. There's that
Is
was
Ja Rule involved still?
I don't think Ja Rule is involved
Where's
in it.
Ja?
But
Where's Ja?
there's most notably on Twitter on entrepreneur Twitter B who scammed everybody. What else? Like just big scandals. Jay
Like with
Morrison.
people, yeah, Jay Morrison's a big one. What was the guy? Hush Puppy. Hush Puppy,
Oh yeah.
one of the ones that was again
But
that
I think he was promoting scamming, right?
nah, I don't believe he just was like promoting luxury lifestyle or like, even do like the
I got
Tinder
you.
swindler. Like people purposely can portray an image online that is not true and they can curate that. And this is what you see. And the things that you consume, whether you believe it or not, they do influence the way you think.
And I think some of them, so I just named all of those, but some of the more important things, like things that happened during the election, right? Uh, misinformation or, yeah, misinformation that came out, Russia interfering with our elections by producing misinformation. All of those things is what I think I'm not going to say more important than the other things because people got hurt financially, but I think when it becomes that political realm, it shapes the fabric of our reality. Like that's a whole nother level of danger.
Exactly. And under the current administration, this has been a constant trend since the first time, where, alternative facts and fake news and these things were became terms that became part of the cultural zeitgeist. Like everybody started using these terms. Um, and it's kind of strange, like in the space that we're in when it comes to politics,
Hmm.
because you really do have to look and try to verify your sources because everything now is about clickbait headlines, fake news, and polarizing content. Those are the three things that bad actors are using in terms of how they're going to benefit financially from using this media, right? So when we talk about media literacy, we want to ultimately kind of help you guys identify ways that you can spot bad things before you allow them to influence your behavior or you act upon this media that really is not truthful information, right?
Mm. What you got for him, Dave?
So before that, like really one of the most common things now is the AI deepfakes
Man,
and the way they're spreading misinformation, guy. So like AI technology has been an advent. We often praise AI. I think AI is a good thing if you use it in an ethical way. If you use it to help organize your thoughts and ideas and as a tool to amplify your skill sets, I think it's amazing. If you use it as a crutch, I think that
I
it
wouldn't
can.
even say it's a crutch. If you're a bad actor who is using it with ill intentions, right?
Okay, yeah, that's
Then
better.
I wouldn't say a crutch, but I think if you're a bad actor using it with ill intentions, to take advantage of people, misinform people, to deliberately, um, what is the word that I'm looking for? Deliberately, God damn, why I can't think.
Deceive.
Yeah, deliberately deceive people. I think that that's whenever it becomes dangerous, right? I think if you I don't care if you use it as a crutch. It's there to be used. But if you're using it for nefarious activities and you're trying to scam people, hurt people, any of those things, that's whenever I'm like, oh yeah, this is too bad. And I think that happens with everything, right?
Yeah.
There's new technology that comes along, and then you're going to have all of the great applications that can be done for it. And then you're going to have your criminals and the people who just want to be bad that are going to find ways for them to use those things to push their agendas.
Yeah. So, but building on like why I say crutch, right? I understand where you coming from,
Hmm.
but I still see being a crutch as an issue because if you use it as a crutch, you're not relying on your own literacy and cognition and your critical thinking skills.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like if you don't practice and use those skills, they're going to deteriorate over time. If you just take the information that AI gives you as fact off the rip, that's problematic.
You're speaking about like AI hallucination and everything like that.
Exactly. Like so
Gotcha.
for people that are unfamiliar, things like Chat GPT and Copilot, Grok, all these things, right? You can ask them for information and they're great at aggregating resources that you should go and verify. But you should not take the information that you receive as fact from an AI software. It is an
From a
assistant
large
tool
language model.
from a large language model. Yeah, it's an assistance tool. But on that side, right, when you're talking about the bad actors, I do want to keep going on that because you do have a valid point. The bad actors are really the people that are the ones that make us concerned, especially when we start talking about your money and your politics, like Jalen was
Hmm.
talking about earlier. In those two spaces, you see a lot of deep fake videos for people who are unfamiliar, deep fakes are AI videos, sophisticated videos that look realistic
You want
that
me to tell you
use
what's
real people, real voices, real everything looks authentic, but they're completely fabricated.
you want me to tell you what's crazy? Because we're talking about deep fakes, I think either in high school or in college. I remember that was my first time hearing about deep fakes. I was
Hmm.
like, what the heck is this? Like,
I think the first time was like in college when I
yeah, I'm
heard
like,
about it.
what
Like it
is
was a
this
Zuck
crap?
deep fake or something like
Yes,
that.
that's the very first one, the Zuck deep fake. But now, and here's the scary part, right? This is the worst that this technology is going to be. Like right now, that's what's so terrifying is because a lot of these things do look very real. They look like they could actually be something, but they're all small things that you can pay attention to for AI. Sometimes it's just shot down from the shoulders down, paying attention to the hands.
The
Or
fingers, yeah, they
yeah,
still
the
struggle with the hands and the
hands.
fingers.
Or if you pay attention to certain things in the background, you'll see things that don't look natural. But I forgot what is the one that open source just released a few months ago. But some of those, depending on what it is, like I saw this YouTuber, he was testing it, and I think it might be Marquez Brownlee was testing it, and he was showing like whenever it was asked to render like landscapes and like water and stuff, it was actually really good at that. But like the mechanics of someone walking and certain things like that. Like if you actually sit there and pay attention to it, it
It's
doesn't look
always a little level
yeah, it
of
doesn't look natural.
yeah.
Like if you really sit there and pay attention to some of the things that they're doing, it doesn't look natural. But once again, I said all of that to say this is the worst that technology is going to be. I don't know if you remember the Will Smith video whenever he was eating
Yeah,
the
I was gonna
spaghetti.
bring that up. Yeah, that's one of the ones that really showed me, and those were like what 2 or 3 years apart.
Like a
Um,
year apart, actually.
one of them he looks ridiculous. Like it looks like a cartoon. His mouth looks monstrous. It's disgusting. And then the second one, it looks a little crazy, like Jalen's saying, like his mouth's moving a little unnaturally. Some things don't look right, but for the most part, it looks more like a person actually eating, just eating sloppily, not some AI monstrosity,
Yeah.
which is dangerous because we talked about this before with how fast this type of technology is growing. You can definitely see it's more and more important now than ever for us to get a grasp and understand like the types of things that these people are gonna do to get to you, right?
I'm gonna tell you
So
what's actually interesting about what we're talking about AI. Nvidia just had their March keynote, and they release some crazy, crazy stuff. Like they just keep on pushing the boundaries, bro. We ain't gonna get into it because we already kind of went over Nvidia. But if anybody wants to watch that keynote, I will put it. I'll put a link to it in the chat, and you can kind of see some of the things that they're working on. Um, it's very interesting, bro. It's very interesting.
Yeah, we could talk about Nvidia a different time. What I do want to do though is give people again some examples, like to get an idea for the YouTube audience. We do have a couple clips that we want to share. Um, because there's some crazy examples of how this has been used, particularly in the crypto space,
Hmm.
to lead people into these things. So you've all been on YouTube, you've seen shorts. A lot of times you'll catch ads, political ads, and YouTube ads, and this will be the type of content. So if you are a pod listener, you should definitely check us out on YouTube. If you aren't subscribed already,
Yeah,
blackwealthrenaissance.com/YouTube.
go subscribe, hit that notification bell for your boys.
Indeed. So I'm gonna share this screen. So this is example number one. So this is the prime minister of, I want to say, where was he? Singapore. I want to say the prime minister of Singapore. They used him in a deep fake to promote a cryptocurrency scam. Check it out here.
Dear Singaporeans, the day has come. I am pleased to introduce to you the Quantum AI Investment Project. Starting November 11th, 2023, we have launched a project that will allow everyone to receive guaranteed monthly dividends with minimal investment. The automated trading system makes only the most profitable trades, allowing investors to increase their income. Earnings from $8,000 are absolutely real. The company has made sure that this income is available to everyone. That is why we have reduced the minimum investment amount to $250. All payouts are guaranteed by me personally and my reputation.
So
Nah, that's crazy.
just imagine being a Singaporean.
Mr. President?
Is my screen still sharing?
No, your screen never actually showed the video, but I could hear the audio, but it never actually showed the video.
Okay, damn.
You're good. You're
Well,
good.
we'll do it
We'll
in
take
post.
care of
We'll
the
do it in
post
post.
editing.
Yeah, we'll do it in post.
Yeah.
But yeah, crazy, right? You're hearing the audio on this. So this, if for the people that can't see the video, uh, one thing that you'll notice to Jalen's point was like if you look around his mouth, you'll notice that it's pixelated. It's more pixelated than the other parts of the video, and the way that they do this is really interesting. I've seen a video on CBS, and I'm going to show an example of a guy that actually used it. So they took a clip of Elon Musk talking, and what they did was clip his mouth just from the video, and then they insert it into a lip syncing AI, and then it makes his mouth move as though it's saying different words, so that it can kind of change it, and then they have to edit it together on top of the original video. So that's how you can notice some of that pixelation around the mouth, like things like that, right? Those are why is this kind of patchy around his face? Why is it fuzzy there? Why did they have to feather it? They had to blend it. These are things to look out for. So I'm gonna play the next video. This is the one of Elon
I'll
Musk.
let you know if I can see your video, your screen or not.
Okay.
You might need to pull it onto. Okay, it says started sharing screen. Okay, I can see.
Okay. You can see it still?
Yeah.
All right. So this is another video. This is Elon Musk, and kind of an example of what I was just sharing.
Elon Musk. If you're watching this, you should follow this guy on Instagram called Warren Maya. So I actually quickly made a deepfake of Elon Musk with voice deepfakes as well. It sounds like him, looks like him, and it is going to completely change all our systems, especially legal systems. When you suddenly have CCTV footage of a person running around committing a crime which that person never committed. All of that is going to happen this year and the next.
When most people think of life insurance, they think of death benefits. But did you know life insurance can also help you build wealth while you're still alive? With cash value policies, Like whole life or universal life insurance, you're not just leaving a legacy, you're building one. These policies grow over time with tax deferred cash that you can access for things like retirement, emergencies, or even investments. Plus, living benefits can protect you during life's most unexpected moments, like critical illness or disability, giving you the financial flexibility you need when you need it most. It's not just insurance, it's a tool in your financial tool belt. Visit the link below to learn more and start building wealth today. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, man, that's the terrifying side of this, right? Once again, we talk about bad actors. There's bad actors on both sides of the law, right? We've seen videos of cops planning certain things. I actually just watched a video on YouTube yesterday. It was a cop. He stopped an FBI agent. He was an undercover FBI agent. He didn't know he was an FBI agent until he found his badge on him. He's like, "What are
Mm-hmm.
you doing? You impersonating the officer?" He's like, "No, I'm actually a federal agent." And then his whole like just attitude and demeanor changed. Because at first, cop was like, "Oh, you want to be difficult, huh? Well, how about I ruin your day?
On a power trip.
Yeah, I love ruining people's days and everything." And then,
Coward.
FBI agent was like, "Who's your supervisor?" Cop was like, "Ain't no supervisor." But then once again,
This nigga.
once he filed that badge, the FBI
Bet
agent,
that boy tone changed too.
bro, what? Tone went from power trip to, yo, let's work this out.
Please don't tell
Yeah,
my boss.
cop was cop said because the FBI agent was like, yeah, I'm a whenever I see your supervisor, whatever, he's like, man, we don't have to take it that far. FBI agent said, you know what, you're right, we gotta take it further. And
Ooh,
he just walked
ooh,
away and got in his car, and all you hear the cop walking around and just drop as he's leaving, he's dropping the F-bomb and just like, damn,
yeah.
like he screwed up. But I said all that to say, now, what does that look like if you have someone who is framing somebody who didn't commit a crime? Once again, maybe a rogue police officer who is framing people, throwing them in jail because maybe they have some type of
And
bias, some type of
falsifying documentation,
yes,
faking footage, getting fake video footage, like you said, CCTV footage. This is all very much within the capabilities of that. And
yes.
that kind of brings up that point, right? Those biases, the way they can frame things, right? They can edit and frame things to incriminate you, to manipulate you. So how do
Let,
you
let's
protect yourself?
take the young thug case for example. What if the technology was so advanced and like the state of Georgia just wanted to win that trial so bad, and they used some type of fake footage or whatever to incriminate Young Thug, saying, "Hey, we got you shooting this video, or we got you doing this, or whatever. Here's your voice." Like, how do we know what's real, what is now permissible in the court of law? How do we know we're actually seeing what's actually happening?
Yeah. So again, right? How do you protect yourself from this? How do you make sure you're not being one of the people that's manipulated by it, right? We kind of talked about a little bit of some of the things you can spot in the videos. But I think first and foremost, before you can go there, you got to understand how we process information as humans. Uh, just honestly speaking, we are lazy. Our brain doesn't want to commit brain power to things that we can easily decipher. It's a concept called schema, where basically if you're used to doing something a certain way, like if you wake up every morning and you get your news, you open up and check Twitter and you scroll for so much, you're gonna process information the same way more times than not because it's low lift for your brain. It's low effort. It's efficient.
Hmm.
So to do so, your brain simplifies information to save the energy. And that's why we got a lot of people that read headlines and start commenting without reading the actual article. Y'all are my least favorite people. I'm gonna
That's
be
funny.
honest.
Bro said y'all are my least favorite people.
Like, you could have at least read it, bro. You could have at least read it. So don't let yourself get goldfish brain. Is kind of the point, right? You got to understand that you already hardwired to do it the easy way. So sometimes, whenever it comes to some of the short form content, you're gonna have to think a little harder. And just from the beginning, you're gonna have to think about it a little deeper than what you may initially want to. Especially whenever it's something like a political ad that's saying something disparaging about a candidate that you may have voted for, that is a false lie. But you need to try to take a step back and not getting your so caught up in your emotions, right? And you think with the logical brain, not the emotional brain.
Hmm.
And you got to be mindful of one of the big things that every human has, and that's confirmation bias. A lot of times, whenever you go Google stuff, you find the answer you're looking for because that's what you were looking for. You already thought it, and you just were looking for something to confirm it. A lot of times, we go with what's already in our mind, and we look for things to confirm and not to antagonize or deny it. So that's another kind of way to protect yourself. Is like
And
every now and then you got to be mindful of your own proclivities, man. I ain't scared to say it. I'm a little racist.
man, dog, what?
I'm a little racist, right?
We're not
So,
going to say racist. I think you might be more prejudiced than racist.
man, look, I ain't doing the semantics with y'all niggas.
Oh,
Listen,
David,
I'm a little
don't do
racist,
it.
bro.
Don't do
I'm a
it.
little racist, bro. And you know, people say prejudice out of woo. When I say racist, I mean I love and support black people, bro. I prefer black people. I will
That's
always interact with black people over others. That is just the way I am. That is how I operate. And to me, that's racist. I'm exclusionary in that sense. I don't have, and I should be working. I'm working on it, guys. I'm trying to get better, but I am, and I grew up racist, bro. So with that in mind, right? I think completely opposite of a white guy that grew up around the same area as I do, right? But to make sure that I'm not having blind spots, I got to make sure I'm touching on and reading and seeing their perspective as well. Because if you get caught in this echo chamber with just your thoughts and opinions, and the thoughts and opinions you agree with, it's a dangerous place to be. So I said that to get there.
I'll start by saying I'm not racist, guys.
Jalen got white friends. Shout out to Jalen, man.
I got friends of a lot of ethnicities. But yeah, I don't even know where I was going to go with this, man. Oh, okay. Yeah. So,
We talking about bias, man.
what you're describing though is thinking objectively, right? Whenever you have objective thoughts or you're thinking objectively, you want to look for both sides of the coin, right? You don't want to just go down a rabbit hole where it says like you want to red pill niggas, man. Honestly. Like where you go down that rabbit hole and all you see is this and
I just thought about what you said. You
like
over here listening to Sneeko get
yeah,
advice about getting women, bro.
yeah,
You're a cook, buddy.
like if you're going to think of something objectively, you need to look at it from both sides of the coins, right?
You need to
Like
have a balanced point of
don't
view.
yeah. If all you're doing is watching CNN and you don't turn on no Fox or you don't go to NBC or you don't go to any place else and you're just going to one outlet, one source, you're going to have a bias because that's all you're consuming, right? But we'll talk about it like last night. We were doing some research on a topic that's going to come up a little bit later. And originally I had said one thing and I was like, this is what was modeled off of it or whatever. And then I started doing my research. And I was like, oh crap. Actually, it looks like people are miseducated on this, and these are two separate things. These are two
Hmm.
totally different things.
But if you're
So
just looking at it quickly on the internet, you would think they
then
both the same thing.
exactly. So all you have to do is take that extra step and dig a little bit deeper, but also don't be afraid to look for things that actually oppose your train of thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about how can I look at it from both sides of the coin. I'm not telling you to change your thought, right? But if you look at it from both sides of the coin, it can expand your mind now. You can say, hey, you know what? Maybe the information that I was fed to me incorrectly. Maybe this information, they were trying to convey this message, but they were biased, and the only way they can convey it was the way that they learned it.
Mm-hmm. It's like a bad game of telephone, like a
Yes.
horrible game of telephone.
Telephone always get messed up.
Like you could start off with the word green, and by the time it gets to the sixth person,
I really
you
think
talking
people do it on
about.
purpose.
I do too, honestly. Just to
Because
be
there's
difficult.
no way that game should be messed up, bro.
But no, it's a real like I think it's a real good like case study or social example of how people are, right? Ever since we were kids,
I
you
remember
can't
playing that
trust
song,
you can't
that
trust
game.
the fifth person to say the same thing that was the source said.
No.
So with that in mind, you gotta know what, and that's good, Jayla. I'm glad you brought it up. Like the people that do it on purpose, right? I think whenever we start talking about bias in media and things to look out for when we talk about bad actors, is emotional language.
Hmm. That is a
Things
good
that are
one.
meant to rile you up instead of make you think.
So
Charged words.
you want me to tell you who's the best at that?
Who's that?
Kanye motherfucking West.
Dog, that man be tweaking. I can't believe. Yeah, we're not gonna repeat what he said. That
No,
is
but
crazy.
he knows how to pull at people's emotion. But I think the most charismatic Donald Trump is another person, right? He knows how to play on people's emotion.
That's his whole campaign thesis, premises.
Exactly.
It's not policy. He runs on emotion.
Emotion. So whenever you're easily emotionally manipulated, you're either going to extremely hate him or you're going to love him. Me, honestly, I don't care. I do think that he does stupid stuff, but
Hmm.
at the end of the day, I'm not gonna let what he unless he about to start World War III and there's nothing that I can do, like, or he about to do something that's like literally just personally affecting my life. But the things that he says and the wild, outlandish takes that he have, I don't allow that to be like, oh my God, Trump is at it again. Like, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got to
It's
see
like
past the BS.
you gotta be objective. Like that's really what you're saying there, right?
Hmm.
You have to be able to remove your personal bias, your personal feelings about certain subjects out of it to make sure that you're getting the best information. And Jalen said it earlier, right? Another way to protect yourself is to check multiple sources. If you go to a right-leaning source like Fox all the time, check what CNN said about it. You've been in the gym before. You anybody work out in Planet Fitness? Planet Fitness have Fox and CNN right next to each other.
They sure do.
It'll blow your mind.
Man, I also tell you
The
guys,
way they take the same story and spin it two different ways.
I also tell you, don't just check the two big publications. Go to the smaller
Exactly.
ones too. That's why I said NBC. Go to NPR. Go to all these other publications. Like, just take a second.
Look at local publications as
Yeah.
well, right? Like you said, check multiple sources. Make sure the facts line up and the information lines up. If there's one source that's being credited as the original, go read the original. Don't take somebody's opinion of a White House press release and run with it. Go read the
Oh,
damn
that's
press
a good
release.
one. So the White House press release, you remember whenever Trump was trying to stop all the federal funding?
Hmm.
And everybody was like, food stamps is going to be done, Medicaid and everything.
But if you went
But
read the damn press release,
the
what
the very first thing says anything directly benefiting Americans, such as
Social
food
Security,
stamps, Social Security, all of these things will not be affected.
Medicare, Medicaid, and I mean they still don't get me wrong, we still not out the water on that,
Yeah, nah, like
but
they still wigging, they tripping.
yeah, But I get to Jalen's point, right?
The headlines.
The headline is what got everybody's attention,
Hmm.
and then bad actors, telephone game, boom, boom, boom. Now we got all this misinformation being spread and people in an uproar online. When if
There's
everybody
actually
would have took
something that I need to go verify. I saw somebody. I was in Walmart doing something, and this lady was talking to me about Sam's Club or whatever, like the DEI crap, and she was telling me about you can't file. Even Will Haggins told me this. You can't file discrimination cases right now and things like that. She was like, the lady was like, if someone calls you nigger in public, there's nothing you can do about it. I didn't verify this or whatever. I just brushed it off like, okay, lady. But I need to go look into that because once again, that's like you're saying, that's how misinformation is being spread.
Yeah, exactly. Like somebody seen it on a TikTok. Now they telling everybody, and they didn't go verify none of this information themselves. So again, this is that brings us to the next point. Verify information before you share it. Just
Hmm.
fact check. Go like we just mentioned. Go look for the original source. Go look for the original video that was shared. Form your own opinion before you just run with someone else's opinion. Because oftentimes, I will see an opinion and I'll bring it up whenever we bring up another story, and I will read it fully, get and understand their perspective, and still disagree or agree. Like you can come to your own conclusion when you're armed with information, and that's really the big thing. Be wary of sensationalism. We said it before, just kind of just understanding, journalism. There's standards of verification. There's transparency. There's accountability. Uh, if there's no credible sources, they're using extreme language, and they're really prioritizing the entertainment factor
Boy,
over
you
the
want me to tell you who
facts.
was great at that on Twitter?
Red flag.
Sintel.
Who?
Sintel?
I don't know who that is.
Oh man, he would drop like this person got traded, all of this and everything. They actually
Oh,
deactivated.
NBA Centel. Yeah,
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 they
yeah, yeah.
actually deactivated Sintel's account.
Fake ass information. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, guys, we kind of already went over the AI
Uh
ways to spot it, but there is another resource that we did want to provide. There are deepfake incident databases. So if you are watching a video and you're not sure if it's a deepfake video, these are pretty updated. You can look into them. This is actually where we found the information and links to some of the videos that we shared today, like the Singaporean Prime Minister. This one is resemble.ai, and there's a litany of them, but you can definitely do that and cross check and verify videos that way as well.
hey man. Let's move on to our next topic, my brother.
Indeed, indeed.
All right, next topic is something I actually wanted to bring up. It's something I saw, I think on threads on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. And it's about the brother that wants to purchase Spirit Airlines, right?
Hmm.
His name is Hashem Walters from New Orleans. He launched the Lattimore. Am I pronouncing that right?
Latimer.
Latimer, sorry, the Latimer Group, which aims to acquire Spirit Airlines. And then, so I did see a lot of positive feedback from this, but then I saw this one comment where a sister was like, "Why would you go buy Spirit Airlines when you can just build your own?" And my immediate thought
You ain't
was,
got the answer, Sway.
my immediate thoughts was, that sounds good. But why is that black people's first thought is, oh, if we ain't got it, build your own. And I know people are like, why not build your own? People probably listen to this right now, like, why not build your own? The reason why I'm saying this is because sometimes you don't always have to build your own. You can acquire businesses. Businesses are built to be sold. Businesses are being sold all the time. There are two huge acquisitions that just happened this week, actually. I think Google acquired this cybersecurity company for $32 billion, and PepsiCo acquired Poppy. I forgot how much they
Yeah,
acquired
that
Poppy
was
for.
also $1 billion
Yeah,
deal
a
as well.
billion
Yep.
dollar acquisition, right?
Shit.
But I think black people, we have this affinity, this infatuation for you have to build it from the ground up. But you can buy a business, right? I don't know too much about the young brother talking about buying Spirit Airlines. I did look him up on YouTube, on LinkedIn. I don't know all of his credentials and backgrounds, but I said all of that to say is if someone did want to buy Spirit Airlines and make it the first American owned airlines,
Black American
Black
owned
American
airline.
owned airline, um, it would be much easier to buy that company than it would be to start
Build an
an
airline.
airline
The
from
the amount of capital that it would take. Like,
and the
so
thing the
I just got something to add to it before. Like, the amount of capital it would take to do that, right? Whenever I hear people take that, make that take and say that, it's like I feel like we say things a lot of times without thinking about economies of scale again.
Mhm.
Like, Spirit is one of the largest airlines in the planet. This is $1 billion business, right? Building your own doesn't start that big. It doesn't
Not at
have
all.
the infrastructure. You don't have the air traffic controllers and the planes and the inventory, the fuel stations, the logistics.
Well, I
Like,
think the air traffic controllers is provided by the government.
you get what I'm saying, bro. You understand what I'm saying.
You need
You there is a
licenses.
lot of regulation
Yeah.
involved. There's a lot of capital that is required up front. And we talk as black people and we mentioned the $1.7 trillion of spending power. But again, this is not collective. We are not a monolith. It's easy to say just go build your own. It's easy to tell us that, but realistically, the people who are doing it on the highest scale are doing it through partnerships
Partnerships and acquisitions.
on
So
that level. But yeah, I'm gonna let you
what
get back to it.
what you talking about, economies of scale and things like that. Fun fact, we actually interviewed the CEO of a black owned airline. Her name is Rexy Roll, and she is the CEO of Western Air, which is based out of the Bahamas. Western
Hmm.
Air
Shout out to
flies,
Rexy.
yeah, shout out to Rexy. That's episode 47. We That was early days of the
Back
pod.
in the baby
Yes, sir.
BWR days.
Yes, sir. But we actually spoke to Rexy, and she kind of told us what it looked like for that airline in its infancy, right?
Hmm.
So she actually took over the company from her dad. Her dad started the company. And one of the things that was really interesting is like she was like, whenever we started this out, we only had like one or two planes. They were not brand new
It,
planes.
her dad was a pilot by
Her dad
trade,
was a
right?
pilot. Yes, her dad was a pilot. Um, Once again, she said they only had like one or two planes. And then those
Oh yeah,
planes,
he was working for a small airline, and they were able to acquire the planes because I think the airline was going out of business.
yes. And then the planes, once again, planes were not brand new, secondhand planes. So they had to do all of these things. Once again, though, they operated as a shuttle service from islands in the Caribbean, just doing like island hopping, right? They weren't doing full on commercial flights at the time. So once again, they had to build up to now. Once again, they serve the Caribbeans. They also they fly to South Florida. They fly to Fort Lauderdale. Um, if you would like to fly with them anytime out of Fort Lauderdale or Miami to go to the Bahamas, I would definitely say look it up. Rexy Royal, she actually went to school to be a lawyer. So she's a lawyer and she's the president and CEO of the airline. Very dope episode if y'all would like to go listen to that. But I said
I
all of
definitely
that.
should check that one out.
Yeah, I said all of that to say she spoke about the capital intensiveness. She spoke about the early days of like some of the struggles that her father went through. This was a family push. Like everybody was bought into the vision of that company growing so much so that she went to school to become a lawyer to help better benefit the business. Um, but it doesn't start off looking pretty from the beginning, right? What would that look like? A black owned airline company in the US? Cause I saw the video where there was bro that was the pilot. He had
with the locks, and
locks and slug.
they was cooking, bro. Bro, the white folks in them comments, and you talking about you shouldn't be racist. Man, these white folks in this comments going crazy.
It was
Then
black people that was cooking them too.
I ain't seen that one. But I
Bro,
could believe, I ain't gonna doubt it. I ain't gonna say it didn't
it
happen.
was black people. They was like, you know what?
I wouldn't want my
Sometimes,
pilot to look like that.
yeah,
Like, bro, what
it
about professionalism? Like, dog, this man can't have locks. I get the slugs to a point. Like, all right, dog, you don't need it in the plane.
yeah,
But like, as a brother with locks, why you hating?
exactly. Like once again, even some black people, Joe Button to be specific, was like,
Bald.
there were. He was like,
Bald. I don't want to hear no bald nigga opinion.
so you think he hating on him because he got locks and he bald?
Yep.
But Joe Button was like, some jobs stereotypes should apply to. He was like, my pilot, I feel like a stereotype should apply to that.
You know why this happened?
Why?
It's Soul Plane fault.
I ain't gonna lie. Soul Play definitely messed
It's
up
Soul Plane's fault, bro.
my
Blame
vision of
Snoop Dogg. It's
yeah,
Snoop fault for playing a pilot that had long hair, that was, black
going off the
coated,
weed.
gone off the weed, the shrooms, whatever the hell he was going off of. That stereotype carries over, and that's media, carrying over into real life, right? But
That might be a part of it. But I said all of that to say, what would that look like with that young man trying to start that business from the ground up versus acquiring Spirit Airlines? They already have all of the equipment. They already have a structure. They have a system. They have everything that they need to continue to
have
be functional.
employees,
Exactly. They have everything that they need.
talented people.
They have everything that they need to keep on functioning. So I said that to say acquiring a business is much easier than building up from the ground, right?
Bro,
Because you walk in with so much more.
I feel like the people who say that oftentimes don't own or operate their own business or have never employed someone. Because it's 94% of businesses, small businesses, don't employ anybody. So
Facts.
if you employ people, you understand it's a different level. It's a different level to it when it comes to finding good talent and working. So like a lot of times I think it's just being idealistic. It's pie in the sky whenever we talk about stuff like that. Like, oh yeah, man, we could just do it ourselves and it would be better. And it's not saying that it couldn't be better. Like what Rexy and her dad and they family did is beautiful. But listen to the story. This is multi-generational.
Facts.
This ain't no business that just started. If you go listen to that episode, that girl talk about whenever she was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
how their house was looking because they was running an airline out their house, basically. Like not flying the planes out there, but like the business
The
operations.
operation side of it.
Yes, like it's so much more to it. And I wish we wouldn't trivialize and minimize things like that. I think it's a great ambitious effort by the young man. I hope that, he's able to get it done. I might actually fly Spirit if that happened. Cause
I'm still not flying Spirit.
man, shit, I might as well. Southwest don't do free bags no more. Frontier said they gonna start doing free bags. I said I would never fly Frontier again. They might have me.
I'm still not flying. I ain't gonna lie to you. I would just pay for my bag or do my free carry on, bro. I'm not flying with Spirit or Frontier, bro.
That's a stigma, bro. People get Spirit ain't never had no crashes this year.
You right about that.
I'm just saying.
Southwest ain't have none either though.
But they also crashing out. They crashing out. Them boys
That's cool.
removed a long time policy, and you can't do preferred board no more. Hey man, what's his name? What's his brother name? Hashim Walters. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for every man that's black, bro. I hope that you and the Latimer group can buy a Spirit, and I'm gonna hop on that Soul plane and do my thing.
I think what's interesting. Well, never mind. Never mind. So, but yeah,
No, I kind of want to know what the fuck you gonna
no,
say now.
we'll talk about it Watch your language, man. Watch that language.
I barely said it.
Yeah, whatever. I heard it.
Damn.
We can move on to the next topic, man.
Okay, all right. So rolling into the next one, right? This is another story that caught some traction this week. So there was a North Carolina woman who lost her house behind a $400 HOA fee. So a Charlotte resident, I'm not sure if she's actually from Charlotte. This is from the Charlotte news station.
Mm-hmm.
So a Carolina woman named Taylor Sanders owned she lost her 3,300 square foot house in 2020 due to an unpaid $400 HOA fee, right?
Sheesh.
So this resulted in a $1,200 lien on the property because she never made payment. She said that she received the lien notice for $400 with a bill for $400, and she quote unquote thought it was a joke. So she received it in 2020, thought it was a joke, and didn't pay it any mind. By April of 2021, she had received notice from the HOA that there was a $1,200 lien on her property. That was for the late bill as well as the fees from the HOA. So with that, with the notice that she received in April, the HOA notified her that they would be entering into foreclosure proceedings. So they foreclosed on the house, sold it for 49K. 5 months later, the house sells for 850,000.
I'm sorry. I'm about to cuss. I'm about to cuss. This is a warning. I'm about to cuss. This why I don't fuck with HOAs, bro. I don't fuck with these niggas, son.
Yeah, it's some fugazi shit,
I
right?
do not like these niggas, man.
So right.
Sorry, y'all. If y'all can just fast forward, if y'all want to skip that little skip button for about 30, 40 seconds, I'm still angry, man. How the hell a $1,200 lien turned into them foreclosing on this lady house, bro? How the hell, like, how did they just say, oh, we can sell your home? Like, shouldn't they just be a lien holder in the event that something happens? They need to be paid.
So under North Carolina law, HOAs they actually hold significant authority to enforce payment duties and
Man, that's why I don't
payment dues and
fuck with
fees,
these
right?
niggas, man. I
So
hate
they can put a
HOAs.
lien on the property for any amount of debt and initiate foreclosure proceedings if the
That's
debt remains unpaid.
that's
So
crazy,
the HOA, that's what they did. They exercised the power to do so. And you know, it is crazy.
bro.
But I at the same time, I don't think HOA should have the power to do this, but I blame her.
I
Shit.
know I do blame her for.
No, you got your second to be mad. Let me be mad. I understand times get hard. 2020 was the pandemic. Bitch, man, you had money. You had money. Everybody had money.
$400 to be exact.
$400. You went on unemployment. You went
What
on nothing
made
if
you
you lost
think
your
it was a
job.
joke? Is what I'm trying to figure
Yeah,
out.
that's what I'm saying. And then, everybody, this is a common thing I'm starting to see with these types of stories. And I'm starting to have difficulty believing it. I don't trust HOAs. I don't believe that they tell the truth about everything. But they're required to send
My
notices
neighborhood has a HOA,
as a part of this type of action, right?
and our
They can't just
HOAs is some hoes.
they can't just initiate they can't just initiate this without due process. So they have to make documented attempts to get in touch with you. So they stated that they mailed multiple letters and things of that nature, and the woman stated she never received them. Miss Jackson never received them.
But you did receive that one, and
I
you
mean,
thought it was
Miss Sanders
you.
never
You
received
did
it,
receive
but you
that
got the
one,
first one. You
and
got the
you thought
first
it
one.
was a joke.
You thought it was a joke. Well, ain't shit funny now, cause
Cause I
you
ain't gonna
lost
lie
your
to you.
house.
I would have just went to the HOA website, or I would have went called up the HOA and say, "Hey, what's this about?"
So I mean, it hindsight is 2020. When it comes to it, like she definitely should have,
That's crazy.
should have, but now with hindsight, that's why the story went viral because she was sharing the story with a news reporter in the Charlotte area. So that story it was on WSOC. That's the Charlotte news station.
They took her property for $400 and somebody flipped it for
For almost a meal.
850K, bro.
Almost a meal. Not even six
Man,
months later.
I'm hot. Jesus. Y'all, don't play with the HOA.
Don't play with the HOA. And if you are a
Also,
person that ends up in a situation like that, right? Things that you can do just to make sure that you know what's going on, right? So you got to know your HOA's principles. Every HOA has documents which are called CC&Rs. Those are your covenants, conditions, and restrictions. This will help you understand your payment deadlines, late fees, and foreclosure proceedings. If you know you got some money that's due, you might want to put that on the calendar, put that in your phone. You know what I'm saying? You want to keep up with their communication. Make sure they have your contact information, your correct mailing address, phone number, email, all that, because they're required to send documented attempts, right? Uh, Request certified mail notices. That's good, because with certified mail, if you don't
yeah.
actually acknowledge receipt, you can't say you received it. So that's a good way to protect yourself. Many HOAs have portals. Jalen, I know you mentioned your neighborhood has an
Yeah, we got
HOA.
a
Do they have a
portal.
portal?
They got
So
a
that's a
portal. They'll text you if you leave your trash can out. They'll
hoe
text.
ass niggas.
They got a portal. They'll text you and they gonna send you some mail.
Yeah, so like exact just to the point, right? So making sure you have your contact information up to date. Uh
Just try to follow what they do.
yeah,
But my thing is, how do we abolish HOA? I want to get rid of them, bro.
lobbying.
I want to get rid of them.
It's gonna be a lobbying effort because I'm pretty sure there's like a HOA association or something, like some type of
I'm pretty
national
sure
HOA
every
association. That
new build community all got HOAs. That's why I'm buying in an old neighborhood, bro. Old neighborhood or in the country. I don't need y'all telling me what I can and cannot do about property. And then y'all get
then
mad.
double back and selling my shit. That nah, okay, let me
Exactly.
catch. I gotta catch myself. Double back and selling my stuff. You can't sell my property. It's mine.
And it's mine also. Why are you telling me what I can and cannot do? How you gonna tell me I can't build this patio back here?
It's gonna be make the community not look the same. They want everybody to look the same. That is
I'm
HOA.
sorry, y'all. I just went off on the rant. But yeah, sorry, Shawty. You should have definitely did your due diligence on that $400 fee.
Yeah, yeah. I don't feel sorry for, unfortunately, but yeah. If y'all are in an HOA neighborhood, those are some things to watch out for. Make sure you don't end up in a situation like that. Update your information with them folks. Moving on, man. Moving on. We moving into a somber topic. Um, man,
Gotta give it up for a legend, man.
we lost a black legend, man. We lost a black all-star, black business legend, man. Um, so for everybody that doesn't know, man, one of the America's 22 black billionaires, the latest member of the Black Billionaires Club, Mr. Junior Bridgeman, a former NBA standout turned billionaire businessman, passed away last week, March 11th, from an apparent heart attack at a business conference in Kentucky. One brief moment of silence for the legend, man.
Yes, sir.
Indeed, man. Yeah. So thoughts and prayers to Mr. Bridgman's family, man. But reason we got to bring him up, man. Mr. Bridgman is like a real, like we said, a black legend, a black all star. He is one of the greatest black American success stories I've ever heard of, in my opinion. You know, this man was an NBA all star that started working at Wendy's after his
While
NBA
it,
career. No, it was
uh,
after.
okay,
It's after. So it was after his NBA career, right after he retired. He started working at Wendy's, man. And
okay. The way you're saying it though, he ain't just start working at Wendy's because he went broke on nothing.
no, man, like it's crazy. I just say he started working at Wendy's to learn the business.
Okay, you got to put that in there because you're just like
Eh,
he started working at Wendy's, bro. Ain't
Man,
started
you
working
gotta
on.
let me get there, brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm just
I know,
saying.
but it was sounding real bad, like he lost all his money type.
No, man. He started working at Wendy's right after his career, and he wanted to learn the business. And then like less than a decade out of his NBA career, I think it's like less than 5 years, he became one of the biggest franchisees for the company. And went on to just build like a food conglomerate empire, media conglomerate empire. And the dopest part, so in his NBA career, he played for the Bucks, and a few months ago, he actually bought an ownership stake in the Bucks.
2024.
He bought a 10% ownership stake in the Bucks a few months ago. So the same team he played for, it came full circle, and he became an owner of the team. Like I said, he's just an icon in the business world, the black business world. I feel like his story is not shared enough.
Hmm.
Um,
I
he
think
has the
that's
type
all
of
of
work
our
ethic
great black
that should
business people.
inspire so
Yeah.
many. Like his work ethic should just inspire so many. But you're right. Like it's a lot of our great black businessmen, especially those who don't do
Businessmen
it
and
through
businesswomen.
business women. Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right, right, right. That unless it's done
David
through
might be
sports and
racist, but he
entertainment.
isn't sexist.
No, I love the women now. Come on, dog. Uh, but like I said, bro, it's just so many of our black business legends, like you said, we don't highlight them unless they done it through sports or entertainment. And what makes Junior Bridgeman so special is
Is
that he
he
was an
did both.
athlete and he did it through both. But I think the dope part about him being an athlete is he didn't make a world of money as an athlete.
Hmm.
So over his 12-year career, he didn't make over $3 million. In no 1 year did he make over 350K.
Damn.
So like if you think about it, for him to become a billionaire off of less than 3 million in earnings during his NBA career is massively, massively
That
impressive.
is massively
So
impressive.
I was doing my research about Junior Bridgman and I found out some dope stuff about him, man. So he actually credits a lot of his business acumen to the owner of the Bucks at the time.
Really?
So that was actually one of his first investments. So it, 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 it- this guy was focused, guys,
That was
right?
one of his first investors or
No,
investments?
he one of his first investments was with the
Owner of
the
the
team
Bucks.
owner. Yeah.
Got you.
So
So he helped him purchase his first franchise, is what you're telling me?
nah, no, not a franchise. So the team owner was starting a cable startup company.
Mm.
After 3 years of being in the league, Junior Bridgman had managed to save up some of his money. Now, he never made more than 350K in a year. His first year in the league, he got paid $140,000. They, after taxes, he said he got 55K.
What year was that he was playing?
He
You
got
know?
drafted in 75.
Damn.
So he
After
got drafted in
taxes,
after
70.
taxes and agent fees, taxes and agent fees.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was to say,
So
damn.
he had 55, right? So his first year he only really made 55K net. By his third
They
year in the
still put
league,
that rod in them. 140 to
bro,
55?
bro, sick, nasty work, diabolical, um, all of it. But the following years, right? He was, but in the following years, by 1978, he was able to have $100,000 saved up. And with that 100,000 he had saved up, he was able to invest in the startup company that the owner of the Bucks was getting into at the time. So he put 100K into that. 5 years later, the owner sells the company. He gets a check for 700K.
Jeez.
So this was like the first time in his career where he did investing. So 78 to 83. In those 5 years, $100,000 turned to 700K. While over those 5 years, he may have made twice that amount if he never made more than 350K in one
Hmm.
year. Just assuming he made 350K every year.
Damn.
Like you made twice. Well, you made twice your annual salary off of something you did not have to work on or work for. And I think that was like one of the early shifts with him, because after that, that's whenever he started getting into investing. So he started to invest in a Wendy's in '83. One of his friends approached him about investing in a Wendy's, and he joined in as a passive investor. Um, and that was kind of like his 80, and that was in '84. So a year after he had had his big hit with the cable company. He
Mm-hmm.
started to get into the restaurant business, and he just kind of was passively in it until he retired. He retired in 1987, and then after his retirement, he tried to start a Wendy's with a former NBA player as well. His name was Paul Silas. They both put 100K up. They bought one in Brooklyn, and it failed. They both lost 150K to combine, and they lost. And whenever he was asked about it, it's like the things that he didn't know is what killed him, and that's what actually inspired him to go work in Wendy's.
Mm.
That's why he went in and
So he
learned the
can learn the
business. So he
operations
signed
of it.
he signed up for the program, the Wendy's program,
Mm-hmm.
and went through and worked in the restaurants and learned the ins and outs of the business. And then when he retired, he took 750K and bought 5 Wendy's around Milwaukee. And with those Wendy's, he took them from being average stores. The average Wendy's was at the time was doing about 600K in revenue to doing over $2 million in revenue
Each or
each,
combined?
each,
Sheesh.
each. Becoming one of the top franchisees, doubling the value of each one of the franchises. And one of the things he credits to his success is his involvement of the community. He hired ex-convicts, people that people often wouldn't give jobs, and included the community in his restaurants, which again, like, goes to show just why this is the type of black legend that we need to highlight more.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did he do things at a high level on the sports thing that almost every black man want to be as a professional athlete. He did that, then came back as a businessman and created opportunity for people in his community. Uh, and it to the point we were talking about earlier, he didn't have to build his own. He came in into a franchise. He went into a business that worked, a model that worked, and started to build an empire with it. So at its height, right? Bridgman Foods owned over 520 franchises, and that included Wendy's, Pizza Hut, and Chili's. And their net revenues were somewhere north of 600 million, is what it was projected.
Sheesh.
And yeah, like the company did amazing things. And in 2016, he actually exited most of his restaurant portfolio. So he sold off most of the restaurant portfolio to get into a bigger game. He got into the bottling and beverage industry. So he went through a partner deal with a company called Mana Beverage Corporation. It was a joint venture between him and some capital partners, and they were able to acquire the Coca-Cola Bottling Corporation, and they grew it to selling 50 to 60 million bottles annually, with revenue surpassing $1 billion in 2024. So that was one of the largest drivers that pushed him over that $1 billion mark, was switching from the restaurant industry to the beverage industry.
And
And then just another dope thing that I just found whenever we were talking about him, uh, in 2020, I didn't know this till researching about this. He bought Jet and Ebony, and today his daughter is actually the CEO of both of those companies. So those companies were struggling in 2020. You know, print media was is dying, still
mm-hmm.
dying, and he injected them with capital and is helping with the digital transition. And now his daughter is leading those companies. So I thought that was mad dope because again, just a black billionaire blueprint, right? This man is a black man with a black wife, black kids, black family that's built generational wealth, created opportunities for his children. His daughter runs the Ebony and Jet magazine now. She has her own enterprises to run. And his son, I know I mentioned that he sold most of his restaurants. His son actually retained a portion of those restaurants. They've rebranded it from Bridgman Foods to Mana Inc. now.
Mm-hmm.
And his son runs the restaurant portfolio. I believe the last time I looked into it, they've downsized significantly. I want to say they've cut down the number of restaurants to under 200, but they're still operating across the nation and employing hundreds of people. So it's really beautiful, man, to see this great black man's story and his impact. I hate that we lost another legend, but yeah, I just think that we need to talk about Junior Bridgman more, man. As a community, we need to talk about him more. We need to have more content that highlights people like him, and less people that are wealthy through the means of sports and entertainment who are just endorsement deals or figureheads. We need people who are owners, people who are in positions of power when it comes to owning and operating a business, not just people uh who are the marketing arm of it, right? So like just an example, just look at Diddy with Ciroc. You know, he didn't own Ciroc. We all thought he owned Ciroc
Yeah, he was
because
just
he was the face of it. He was the thing that sold it. But at the end of the day, he didn't have ownership. We're talking about ownership. That's what Junior Bridgeman had, and that's what we should all strive for. But I'm off my soapbox. Black legend Junior Bridgman,
yeah, man.
R.I.P. One of the goats.
R.I.P. to Big Junior.
Big Junior, not the little one.
Yes, sir. Building wealth is about more than just the money you make. It's about what you leave behind. At Black Wealth Renaissance, we believe in creating lasting legacies for the ones we love. But have you thought about what will happen to your family when you're no longer here? Life insurance isn't just about protection. It's a way to ensure your hard work today keeps working for your family tomorrow. It's your opportunity to leave a legacy that will support their family. Take the next step today. Protect your family, secure their future, and build a legacy you can be proud of. Click the link below to get started today. Um, next topic. Next topic is Forever 21 going out of business. It's a lot of Fortune 500 companies going out of business, filing bankruptcy. This one was a pretty interesting because instead of just talking about their own mess ups, they're blaming Shin and
Them
Timu.
boys scapegoating.
Yeah, so Forever 21 is going to shut down. Well, they're getting ready to shut down all 350 locations of their stores in the U.S. The company first filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy back in 2019. And this past week, they filed a second bankruptcy, and they're blaming online fast fashion, once again, like Timu and Shin, for its downfall. Also, they're contributing rising commercial rents and a shift to online shopping, helping further pressure the brand. So, the reason why I just wanted to bring this up is I just think it's really crazy. Whenever you think about the Forever 21 brand, though, like I look at it as like a rapper who did not age with his target audience.
That's good.
You remember how J. Cole was talking about that
With
and
little
talk
pump back
yeah,
on what you call it. One day your fans gonna grow up.
yeah.
The
And then
women
them
that was
checks gonna
shopping at
slow.
Forever 21 did not
Yeah.
want to stay 21 for real.
Like you did not and of course they probably
Evolve.
yeah,
You didn't evolve.
they probably thought that hey, we'll just keep on capturing the younger demographic, but they didn't evolve their business model. One, they stayed with retail. They stayed with
They
commercial.
didn't go online.
Yeah, they stayed with commercial space. They didn't take advantage of e-commerce and online digital shopping. Two, like we just said, they didn't evolve, right? They didn't have offerings that were more elegant, more upscale. And then we actually posted this on the page. People were in the comments
Cooking them,
on they
frying them.
tail. They put them on a black stone. Like it was crazy. But basically some people was like, if people want to buy cheap clothing, why would they go to Forever 21 when they could just go to Shein and get the same quality of clothing at a cheaper rate? Forever 21's clothing definitely went up. I don't remember the last time I was in a Forever 21, but I was actually on the phone with my line brother this past weekend, and he was like, "Oh man, Forever 21's having a 40% off sale or whatever." So for some reason, he went in there. I was like, "Bro, you should not go in there," but he went in there. He was like, "Damn, this shirt's $40." And I was like, "A $40 shirt at Forever 21? That's
$40.
crazy." $40.
Tripping. At Forever 21?
Yeah, that's crazy to me. But
And
yeah,
yeah, you mentioned it too, so I just wanted to pull it up because I wanted to talk about some of these comments too, because everybody had the same thing to say basically, right? You know, $40 for these shirts and the quality's going down, and nobody letting them make it, right? We got it was your $30 plain Jane T-shirts, or maybe it was the Flaming Hot collab.
I didn't even know they did that. A flaming hot collab? That sounds crazy.
How they gonna blame Shein, but they was accepting Shein returns? You gonna blame another company because you failed?
Oh yeah,
The quality of your shirts went down drastically.
they
Prices
did partner.
skyrocketed. Y'all went back in time as far as style. We grew up, but y'all didn't. Damn.
Yeah. Sorry. Y'all no longer forever young. Um they did have a partnership with Shin and Timu. But they stated that it did not work out for them. They were selling some of their clothes through their ecosystem, but they just said that their brands didn't align. So yeah, I think that this is a lesson for everyone. You have to evolve. You have to adapt with the times. You have to evolve with your target audience as well, right? Um, I think that if they would have probably downsized the stores, went online, and maybe made a spin-off brand that was like you had a Forever 21 and then you had a higher scale for like the older people or whatever, maybe they could have did good. But yeah, sorry Forever 21. Another one bites the dust.
Another one bites and another one bites. Another one bites the dust. But yeah, to your bigger point, Jalen, with that that you said at the beginning, a lot of Fortune 500s are going out of business. We definitely see a changing of the guard, and a common
Hmm.
trend amongst a lot of those companies is slow adoption to digital. So I think that is just another little business gem. Whenever we think about the technology that's adapting, we opened this episode talking about AI a lot.
Hmm.
You have to adapt or you will die. You will fall out of relevance. You will fall out if you are not able to keep up with the times and keep up with the trends. A lot of marketing, a lot of shopping has shifted to TikTok shop and like things like that. Timu has TikTok shop on lock. Timu ads, I can't get on Snapchat without seeing 10 of them.
You
They
ain't
always
lying.
trying to sell me some junk. But like I ain't never seen a Forever 21 ad. And I mean, I'm not in y'all target audience, but like not no digital ads, not on the level I see Timu on the platforms I see it on.
But the way Timu struck like lightning, bro. Like I remember whenever they first started popping up, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" Next
I
thing
do
you
not
know,
trust them niggas over there.
next thing you know, they got a Super Bowl commercial. Not just one Super Bowl commercial. I think they had like two or three that year.
I don't trust them. Timu ain't nothing but Alibaba, but they gonna take your information and give it to China. I'm good. I'm
That's
good.
funny. So yeah, um, biggest thing there is adoption, adapting. Sorry. So if you're in a business, once again, we talked about AI. There are ways for you to use AI to help your business grow. Um, Start looking into that. Look into ways that you can implement it because within this next 5 years, I think things is going to be real crazy. All right, man. We are at the last topic. Last topic is a petty topic, but it will get serious as well. And this is alluding to the thing that I was talking about at the beginning whenever we were talking about media literacy. So France wants the Statue of Liberty back.
Huh?
Uh, yeah, France wants the Statue
How
of
you
Liberty.
how you how you gonna take that statue back?
I don't know. They're gonna put it on the
How?
boat, put it on the boat and ship it back.
They're gonna break it up. They're gonna blow it up. They want the pieces back. That's
Uh,
crazy as hell.
so what's going on is a French member of parliament stated that they wanted the statue back. His name is Raphael Glucksmann. He's a member of the European Parliament with the Progressive Alliance of Socialists and Democrats.
My
His
bad,
work,
man. Glucksman just made me think
yeah, nah.
about Bill Gluckman is down with the nose.
Where'd that come from?
Malibu sports water.
Oh, I gotta go watch that movie.
Okay, my
That was
bad.
funny. Be
Back to potty.
rad. um, so his words verbatim is to the Americans who have chosen to side with tyrants, who fired researchers for demanding scientific freedom,
Mm,
end quote, open quote again, give us back the Statue of Liberty, end quote,
mm.
open quote, we give it to you as a gift, but apparently you despise it. So it'll be just fine at home with us.
Bro,
Um, huh?
bro, you know who he sound like?
Who you sound like?
They gonna kill me for the keep movie references. Ti or ATL.
Huh?
Give me that chain back.
That's funny.
Nigga was hurt by that little chain.
He
You want
was.
your statue back? Man, you playing with the wrong one with Big Teasy. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I
They'll
will
say,
say,
take that shit.
I will say, so Gluckman was questioned about his comments, and he stated that it was only a symbolic statement. He didn't really want the statue back. He was just stating that for symbolism, stating that America, from where they were, like where we were whenever the statue was sent over, what we symbolize, the things that we stood for at that time is much differently.
Okay,
So
that's fair. That is
talking
fair.
about freedom, how the statue was the first place for Ellis Islands, where immigrants would come in, they would go sign up and everything like that. Now Trump is cracking down on immigration, specifically towards migrants that are coming through the border. But the reason why I actually brought this up is the irony of France talking about, hey, you should give it back to us. Because
What's ironic about it?
Naomi Osaka chimed in on Twitter. She was like, since we're trying to repossess things, can you give Haiti their money back?
Hmm.
And I was like, you know
Go
what?
on, run me that.
I was like, sis preacher, give sis
Yeah,
a
go on, run to
megaphone.
that. Y'all talking about a statue and liberty and what we represent. You know, you're right. That is real hypocritical.
Very hypocritical.
Because what when did we get the Statue of Liberty?
1865.
Okay, so when slavery ended out here,
Yes.
but it was cool when you was doing it.
Yes.
And
So
whenever they stopped being cool with it, what happened?
what
Y'all
you mean?
hit. I'm saying like France was cool with slavery whenever they was enslaving
Yeah.
Haiti, but then when the Haitians
So
revolted and all that,
let's talk about
yeah.
it. So whenever she's talking about can you give Haiti their money back, right? So what she's referring to is, if you don't know, Haiti used to be a colony of France, um, and there was actually a slave revolt that happened in 1794, and the slave revolt actually sparked the Haiti Revolution, which ended in 1804. So they actually ended up pushing out the slave owners, and they retreated to France and to some of like the South America and actual Americas. So they ended up winning that, and they actually ended up becoming the very first uh, black nation state, like independent black nation state. And what's interesting about that is France made Haiti pay reparations for winning. And the reparations is for the loss of property, which included enslaved people, which is very ironic, which led to a long lasting debt for Haiti that they struggled to pay. I can't hear you, David. You went mute.
They still paying it to this day.
No, they paid it back. They ended up paying it off in like 1947.
Oh, I'm about to say I thought they were still paying it because I know
Nah,
Haiti been poor forever because of France.
no. So the reason that they're poor is due to that
That's what I'm
that
because
agreement.
of
Yeah.
France.
So it pretty much messed up their economy. And which is once again very ironic, right? Um, Haiti was actually the richest colony, not just in France's empire, but within the whole world. So Haiti was producing sugar and coffee cash crops because of the way that the island was positioned. And then they're also getting the free labor through the Haitians. So through the slaves, they're able to generate. I didn't pull up how much they're actually generating, but they were the richest colony in the world uh, at that time. During the revolution, once again, they became the first black independent republic of the world. But what was crazy is a lot of countries, including the U.S., did not want to recognize Haiti as an independent country.
because it meant recognizing that black people were an independent nation and
Yeah.
not slaves.
And what America was afraid of, and this was under President Thomas Jefferson, what America was afraid of is that revolution sparking a revolution in America. So they were afraid that if they were to recognize Haiti as an independent country, then it would then instill hope into the slaves in America. So actually, Haiti was not recognized as a country until we ended slavery in 1865.
1865.
That's whenever they finally recognized Haiti as an independent nation. Um,
Insane.
but once again, so France here was the breakdown, right? France demanded that Haiti pay 150 million gold francs, which is equivalent to 20 to 30 billion dollars in today's money.
And this is in their economic infancy as a nation.
Yeah, like they literally just came out the revolution. So
And then just interesting thing about the revolution. The gentleman that led him in the revolution, I'm gonna say his name because I might butcher it. Jean Baptiste
I was about to
Saint
say Jean
Sutrois.
Baptiste. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
knew. I was trying to say the whole name. You know, I be trying to pronounce things.
Hmm.
But yeah, John Baptiste. I didn't notice he got killed like right after the revolution. So
Yeah.
the leader of the revolution got killed, and then they got hit with these sanctions.
So in the way that these sanctions worked, so basically it was some get down or lay down type shit. So France basically pulled up with their armada off the coast of Haiti and it was like, look, y'all either pay us this or we got these gunships right off the coast.
We
We
just
about
gonna
to
blow
just
this.
like,
We
yeah,
gonna blow this thing
we
down.
about to light it up. It's about to go crazy. So basically what Haiti did was they agreed to the terms of the conditions. And they actually ended up taking a loan from a French bank. Um, and that loan once again lasted from 1804 until 1947. So I'm sorry, actually not 1804, but it did take Haiti 122 years to pay that off. I forgot the actual start date of the loan, but it took them 122 years just to pay off the debt. Once again, which crippled the economy. So everything that Haiti was actually making, exporting, and everything, it all went to France. Um, and then there was also America had their hand in some of it as well. They actually siphoned like 40% of the money that was being paid to France. They actually siphoned like 40% of that money as well. So the audacity of them to say, hey, we want the Statue of Liberty back whenever y'all actually there's this one historian that called it the largest heist of history uh because you made these enslaved people who won and fought for their freedom, gave up their lives, pay this money back to the same people who enslaved them and pay back three, four, five generations of people to make you money. And there's no talk of France ever giving that money back. Everybody that comes into power in France that brings up the situation with Haiti, they just brush it off. So yeah, the audacity of you to say, "Hey, give us back the Statue of Liberty," because it doesn't. Y'all are not upholding freedom and all of these things, but you on the same BS, and your country has the same blood on their hands as America.
As I sit here and I listen to this, my blood is boiling. My rage is at an all-time high. And I sit here and I think to myself, how can people be mad at me for saying I'm racist? How? How? How can you be mad at me for being racist when the world is racist against black people? The second you learn a little bit about the world and the way they treated us and the way they still do the bullshit today,
I gotta know where does it all stem from, bro. I need to
bro,
know that.
it's because they love us but they hate us at the same damn time. We are magnetic. The melanin, man, it's the melanin, bro. They see it radiates our spirit. It's a reason black people always have been the center of culture. It's a reason that Africa is where life started, bro. This is the original. We always said it. They always I grew up and I believe that, bro. We the original people. This is where life was found. You don't mean to tell me you don't think people hate us for a reason? Man, they know that black people are just special. And if you allow them to operate at their own capacity, for some reason they just don't want to see that, bro. They don't want to see that. And I ain't saying like again, I don't think black folks are monolith, bro. We got countries and continents, and just like I said, with the Haitian Revolution, we couldn't keep it together for a year after we got rid of them. They killed the revolutionary leader like in 6 months. It's more
So what
problem.
it was the Haitians that actually killed John Baptiste?
A rival leader, a rival black leader.
Damn.
Henry Christopher is who killed him, or Christoph. Henry Christoph.
Damn, man.
It's like the world don't want to see us win, dog, but they love us at the same time. They love us for our entertainment. How they say that they love our rhythm, but they hate our blues. They don't want our blues. They don't support them.
Mm.
So that's why. And trigger warning: fuck them. Fuck them.
Damn.
I could care less, bro. Honestly, like I'm just focused on what can help us. I'm cool with all the people that's down for the cause. If you progressive, you ain't on all that hater stuff, cool. If you down for the cause, you want to partner with people and make some stuff happen that benefits both parties and then no snake aggressive or predatory type deal, that's different. But like anybody that's on this type of time, and this is like you said, the hypocrisy to say, oh, our nation, look how far they've fallen, but a nation of independent black people who got their freedom back after you benefited from them for with free labor for God knows how long, probably a couple centuries. They owe you money that y'all was still getting paid until well into the
And the
20th
money is
century.
due to the people that died, the enslaved people that died while fighting for their freedom.
Yeah, yeah. Fuck them. I'm not rocking with none of these racist countries, these European countries. Um, I have no interest in them. But yeah, man, I definitely think it's crazy that the hypocrisy is there, but they still made valid points. I'm not gonna take away from what they said. For America, we are in just like a strange time, in terms of the messaging here.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea of us sitting in silent with Russia is probably the craziest concept I've ever heard. Russia has historically always been our enemy, and now it's looking like they may be our ally if WW3 occurs.
That's crazy. That is crazy to me.
Yeah, yeah. But man, this has been good, dog. I
Yeah,
think we got a
this has
good
been a good
pod in.
episode. Kind of serious stuff very out at the end. Made it a little morbid, but hey, man, something that I wanted to talk about. Just once again, the hypocrisy. Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. But
You got anything else you want to talk about, my brother?
man, nah, I think we hit it hard on all the topics that we want to hit.
Pause.
I almost made a your mama joke.
Don't worry, I'll tell some of you in the heartbeat too.
I know, man. Hey, don't tell your mama on me, dog. It was just a joke. But no, guys, I have nothing else, Jalen. I just want to thank everybody for listening again. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. Y'all make sure y'all leave us that rating and review. Those put the battery in our back. It gives us that motivation to keep going. Like even when we
Yeah.
having those challenges, we definitely love to know that what we're sharing is impactful or helping in some way, shape, or form. Um, we're gonna be coming with some interviews for y'all soon. We got some stuff that was going. I want to bring some people in for some conversations.
I'm gonna
So
be
we
honest with y'all. Interviews are gonna go behind the paywall, dog. Interviews are gonna be on Patreon. So
man, we could give them a little snippet of it,
I'm gonna give
on
them
the
a
pod,
snippet,
but
but
like
interviews are
the
gonna be
full
behind a
joint,
yeah.
the whole banana. Pause. You can't get that.
That was crazy. Yo.
You can't get
The
that
whole
one.
banana, bro, you're wild. You're a wild boy. You gotta chill. But
It's
yeah,
getting late. I'm getting delusional.
I could tell if that's your true thoughts, man. I can't be around you at night. Anyways, man.
Oh,
Uh,
bro.
anyways, so yeah, I do want to end off the pod with the prayer again, man. Uh, just a prayer
Indeed.
over everybody. So once again, Lord, I just ask that you bless me. I ask that you just give me the right words. Thank you for allowing us to be vessels through you, allowing us to just spread the knowledge that you've placed on our heart, allowing us to have this platform that you gifted us. And we ask that everybody who comes in contact with this information, it gives them some nugget of value. We ask that you allow this information to impact, inspire, and to change people's lives, their lifestyles, their mindsets, their financial situations. Heavenly Father, we just ask that you continue to let these seeds be planted, but also these seeds be nourished, and these seeds become trees of wisdom, financial security, and mental security, spiritual security. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Yes, indeed. Appreciate your pastor clap.
This
Man.
guy here.
No, man, that was a good word, bro. You
I
know what I'm
appreciate you,
saying?
my brother.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, let him use you. I said it wrong last time. From your lips to God's ears. That's how it's really supposed to be said.
Yes, sir.
I butchered that last time. I said,
Hey, man.
whoa.
Hey, man. God knew what you was talking about. God knew
Yes,
what you was talking
indeed.
about.
But all right, guys, wealthy people, as always, thank you for tuning in. And until next time, this is BWR signing out.
Peace.
Peace.